Hi, welcome back. You are listening to DD Morris. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the latest videos and commenting. Hopefully, you've also been subscribing and thumbing up the videos. Please don't forget to share them with like minded people and those who you feel like it may help. In today's video, I'll bring to you several ways you can identify someone with cluster B personalities at your place of employment. Let's just say you're trying to, figure out who that person is that may not be meaning you well, or you need to avoid, particularly for the maintenance of your sanity and to be comfortable and to stay out of a whole heap of trouble. And to also, of course, maintain your employment. So, number one, if you notice someone at your job who loves social media, they're always either on a laptop, on their phone, always looking up what's going on their accounts, what's going on other people's account, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, reading posts, reading comments, posting, commenting. I would, kind of make a note of that. That's not necessarily a trait that says that the person has custody personality or highly narcissistic, but it's just something to note, particularly if they're very engrossed in it, like they don't pay attention to anything else going on around them, or the only time they actually pay attention to anything going around them while they're on social media is if like something dramatic is happening at the lunch table or something controversial is going on around them in the office, then they may look up or they may kind of take a break from their phone or their tablet or from their laptop to listen more keenly as to, what's really going on out here. That may be more important than them, stalking somebody on social media or harassing somebody on social media, which is probably, what they're doing. But that's just something to note. Not saying that if you are avid on social media and kind of like it as your pastime that that's what you are or someone just saying, just note that and connect it to the next four that I'm about to list. So this is more of a holistic viewpoint that I'm sharing here. Number two, if you get to a place of employment or a job and you notice that someone is always talking about people. So if you notice that, there's this particular person or persons who like to go around sharing information with everybody. Did you hear so and so did this? Let's say you were off one day or something and somebody got into argument. They'll be the first one in your face letting you know, guess what? So and so got into the first argument, or guess what? The new girl, she did this, or she was calling to the office and the manager, supervisor, and HR was, they were all in the meeting. Like someone's always reporting the latest. They got the latest. They have the scoop. They want to be the first one to let, that horse out the gate. They want their name written down in stone and etched that they were the first ones to make that report, that big report, to break the news. Notice anyone who's, seem like a gossiper and, compare it to other times and how they behave other times in the company as if they're so disinterested. But yet, on other occasions, when there's drama or controversy, that's when you see their personality shine. That's number two. Number three, beware of that person who seems just a little bit too interested in you. Like, for instance, they have people you notice that they hang around. All of a sudden, they want to hang around you. But in the meantime, while they're hanging around you, they're asking you stuff like, oh, they want to go for a walk, right, with you. Let's go for a brisk walk around the company. Let's go for a brisk walk, on the outside of the building just to get some fresh air, get some sun. It's kind of odd, right? But I've personally been in scenarios where that's happened. You think someone is welcoming you to this new environment, they're showing you around, they're like, oh, let's take a walk around the grounds on the outside, and showing you where the different buildings are in the company. And but then they seem also awfully curious about where you parked your car, and they're curious about, oh, which car is your car. And let's say, for instance, the first time they ask you that question, you kind of brush it off, you ignore it. And you be like, you thinking to yourself privately, why would they ask? Why are they interested in what's my car? Like, we're just out here to get some fresh air and a walk. Let's walk. We don't need to know what my car is. And then before the end of the walk, you walk around the block, you come back, and before you enter the building, they ask you that question again. So, what do you drive? Where's your car? Point your car out to me. So you're like, oh, okay, that seems somewhat innocent. Like, why am I, being so concerned about it? So you show them your car and be like, oh, okay, now they know your car. They want to know what you drive and what color it is and what brand it is and what make and model it is. So you don't know. They go back. Whoever else has not seen the car, they want to be the first ones to let them know, hey, guess what? I saw the car. This is what she drives. This is what he drives. They want that information. It's the same type of thing when, they invite you to dinner, or they offer to make dinner or something like that just to get close to you, to give you more information about the company, etc., or they invite you to lunch. Somehow they wiggle their way into your home, they meet your family, they find out what church you go to, or they invite you to their church, and they want to, get to know more about you. Now, connecting this to other traits that I've mentioned previously in this video, you can see how it's all unfolding into a particular type of person. Because narcissists, they are nosy. They want to know what you drive, what's in it, what features are in the car, where you live, what's your neighborhood, um, what do you pay, let's say, in rent, or what's in your house. They're very curious, and you have to be aware of, this extra curious person. You may feel flattered a bit by it, but they're taking that news somewhere else, or they're going to use it against you in the future. So even if you want to share just a little to be, I want to say, courteous, just make sure that you hold back most, or a whole lot, just until you can get to know who this person is on a job more. Because with narcissists, they're all nice in the beginning, even in non-romantic relationships. They may be the nicest person, offering you this, offering you coffee, offering you that. And then when they gain your trust, they expect you to give so much more back in return, and to open up with them, and to just reveal everything about your life, yourself. And then that's how they're able to almost fully manipulate you and put you in just these strong emotional throes. So let's look at number 4. If you notice someone in the company or wherever you volunteer, even let's say even if you attend like an educational institution, a college or school, etc., they have these mood swings or changes. You notice someone who have strange or weird, odd mood swings and changes. Let's say they're a certain way with you, but then when you see them with other people, they're different. Probably because, let's say, you put up a boundary or you have boundaries. Now, when you see them with other people, they're all jovial and nice and happy, and they're in a great mood. But then when they're alone with you, they seem sullen, not so jovial, nothing to say, not much of a conversation, pretty dull, quiet. They seem extremely bored, or, like they don't have a personality. But the moment like a crowd of people enter a room, or they walk into a group of people, they suddenly have this change of energy, right? Also, let's say it's your boss or supervisor, for instance, someone who manages you, someone on another level, they may have a request for you. They may say, oh, can you type this grant or this letter for me, or can you go and run over to maybe another department and deliver this document or something like that, or whatever type of company you're in, whoever have a request for you, some type of leader of some sort, and you tell them not now, or you're not interested in attending. Let's say there's a meeting happening that's not mandatory, probably some sales group coming in to sell individual insurance, or somebody coming in to sell just soliciting to the company. You don't have to be there, but because you're in their department, they kind of want you there, but it's not mandatory, it's not required, and you decline, right? You decline to attend. Or you tell them, oh, just give me about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm almost done with this thing, and then I'll come and deliver the document for you, or the package, or come and run over maybe a to-do list with you. You just ask for a few minutes. You would notice that this person's mood changes. It goes from this sweet, nice, can you please, would you mind, into do it now, or they may walk over and forcefully pull the pen out of your hand, or forcefully, slam your laptop closed, or they may forcefully pull the plug on something. Like, suddenly they go from this nice to this extremely forceful or nasty personality. Number 5 is that if you have been privy to hear other people's opinions of this particular person in question. So if you're suspecting someone is a malignant narcissist or sociopath, you may be getting little hints from other coworkers, or perhaps a manager in the company that's saying, watch out for that particular person, or they may be staring clear of the person, and you don't know why. You may want to question, why didn't you want to go to lunch with so and so when she asked you, or why didn't you, you're curious as well why certain people avoid a particular coworker, or why one or two people might have this strong negative opinion about a person. Now, of course, you have to be careful, because the person offering the negative opinions about other people may be the narcissist, because that's what they do. That's called a smear campaign. They may be actually trying to smear someone to you, being the new person, knowing that you're green and naive and you have no clue of nothing going on in the company, and they want to be the first to let you know who's who and what's what, right? So that they can gain your trust and you can be on their side forever. That's how their fantasy works. But the difference is that the person who is warning you, or seeming to steer clear of maybe a negative person in the company, the difference between them and the actual narcissist who is smearing people is that all of the other traits that I mentioned above, the other 4 traits that I just broke down for you and described, that person has those traits. So the narcissist would have those traits on top of number 5, which is smearing someone's name to you, warning you about people, steering clear of other people. Like, if they have that and then the other 4 that I mentioned previously, that's probably the person you should be avoiding. Now, if you see other people in the company warning you about a particular person who has all 5 traits, and then 5 more traits of, there's another video I made about nightmarish scenarios. Check that out as well. It's strongly connected to this video. If they have all the traits and other people are warning you about them, that's a pretty broad line separating who the narcissist is from who the narcissist is not. I hope that was helpful to you. Hopefully you can go back into your day strong and with knowledge. There's more changes to come and more building to happen here on this channel. Stay tuned. Don't run off. Don't get lost. Thanks for being here. Bye-bye.